I would like to welcome Terry Lynch from Chilean Metals. Welcome to Follow the Money Investor Group.
Hey, great to be back.
Excellent. Well, let's have a conversation today about where things are for the company. We are a third of the way into quarter two. I'd love to hear where things are for Chilean Metals and your perspective on the industry and the company. What are your thoughts coming out of quarter one into quarter two, and where are the highlights for the company right now?
Yeah, it's we're at an exciting juncture for our company. Really, it's sort of a landmark situation for us. We acquired late last year a very attractive battery metal project in James Bay called the Nisk project, and it was a landmark project for us. Not that we didn't like our existing assets, it's that it's very rare to get an opportunity to acquire an asset that has in this case, there was a historic resource, but a resource that we thought that could be moved fairly quickly to being effectively a mine or being able to be sold as a mine. So, it was so rare. We felt, hey, we had to take it. It was an opportunity that through sort of a mutual, a respectful relationship that we had in the industry, where this was effectively an extra project that was in Critical Elements portfolio. They're basically one of their lithium, about to become Canada's next lithium mine, and I think they're going to be a lithium giant, really. And so they're lithium focused, and as they should be. And they had this, cherry little nickel project in there that just didn't really fit, Mm-hmm. So, and they obviously could have sold it for cash, but they recognized that they would be under, selling because the project needs more work, some fresh work, and some thoughtful work. And then there could be multiples of that cash. And that's really what they chose to do, which is a smart move for them and their shareholders. And I think we were the beneficiary because they needed to have a vehicle to be able to take that core asset and then, obviously put good science to it and work it. And then hopefully move it along the pathway from, historical resource to technical resource to PEA to PFA. And then, obviously we'd look to sell it somewhere between PEA and PFA because we're not a developer. But I mean, if you look at, I think a very analogous project to look at, obviously this is like, what people say, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I say, well, I want to be Talent Metals because they're 500 million market cap plus. Right. And, their PEA was done on a project with 10 million tons. Well, we've got a historical resource of 3 of very similar grade. They're a little bit higher, but, we certainly believe we can get there. And obviously, our market cap is, 17, 18 million or something like that today. 17 million to 500 million, 3 million tons to 10 million tons. The ratios don't work. So something's got to go there. So we're excited. So where we're at, we just finished. We announced last week that we'd raised a couple $1 million to top up the treasury. We did 4 million, or we're about to close on 4 million shares at 25 cents hard, and 2.5 million shares at 40 cents flow. And that will enable us to move forward, with our 2 major plans, which is obviously drilling Nisk, and we'll look to probably put 3,000 to 5,000 meters of drilling in there, starting in late H2. We're modeling the deposit rate now, and we'll develop our exploration plan after we get the model back and go forward with it. And with our goal with that part of the drilling is it's going to be more low risk step out drilling to add tonnage and confirm the resource. Okay. And so to position this as a technical nickel project, so we hopefully can start to get valued as a nickel project. And then of course we suspect that leads to a new valuation and obviously ability to raise additional funds to do what we want to ultimately do is ramp this thing up to 10 million tons and then plus with the exploration work, and we'd look to do that in sort of later in the year. So the second part of our agenda is our name is Chilean Metals. Doesn't exactly conjure up visions of battery metal projects, does it? So we got that a lot when we were out, pitching the new sort of version of ourselves, and so we quickly realized that we needed to sort of change the branding. So we're going to become Power Nickel, and that'll take place probably in May, and then we as part of this branding, what we're going to do, what's called a plan of plan of organization, where we'll spin out 2 subsidiary companies. One will be our gold and triangle property, which we'll love to talk about in a sec, and it'll be called Consolidation Gold and Silver. Okay. And then the other will be our historic assets in Chile, and it'll be called Chilean Metals. Instead of Inc, it'll be limited. So, we still love our Chilean assets. It's just that this will be the way for each of these assets to find a better pathway forward and more fulsome valuation for our shareholders. So we're pretty stoked about that. And we don't think the market sort of understands that yet, but that's part of our mission to come to places like yours and tell the story. And I think, we'll see some happy results and happy shareholders as a result.
Great to hear. There's a lot of evolution happening. It's exciting times coming through a pandemic to see a company shifting and moving in the right direction. One of the beautiful parts of these opportunities here, Terry, is for our viewers to hear from inside the company what's happening, what people are talking about inside the company. That's a lot to take in. There's a lot of potential. I'm curious to know, in terms of the health of the companies being nimble, making decisions to move in the right direction, where would you say the company is right now in terms of having the proper housekeeping, the proper team, the proper vision, and the evolution of where the rest of the year might go?
Yeah, I think the vision we're really comfortable with. We think we've got that nailed, and now it's about executing the vision. So we're like most junior mining companies over the last number of years. We got as lean as you could be to survive. Okay, so we don't have tremendous staff. In terms of minions that are you're looking at the minions, so unfortunately, so adding some more capital has given us a little bit more breath to sort of really, and what we've done is basically add in some great partners and some great consultants to extend our reach. So, for example, in the Golden Triangle, we're working with Apex Engineering. They're one of the best firms out there in terms of executing in the Triangle. And so we're looking forward to working with them and feel that they'll really be helpful in advising us and executing for us, in that area. Yeah. And then, with the Nisk project, one of the great parts of partnering, because it's a farm and we're earning into the package, by spending, exploration dollars, is critical elements is obviously live and active in the region, and so they're able to execute and monitor the drilling program for us, etc. So we feel like we've got the core mechanics of creating value in the mining space is about getting good science and then spending your money wisely on drilling and doing it in the right time so that you can deliver the news to the market in a timely fashion. So we feel we're doing that, and administratively, the plan of reorganization, comes with audits and fairness opinions and tax opinions and just a lot of minutia. And frankly, that's taking our time away from marketing and other things. But it's sort of just a price we have to pay in order to get there. So we're going through a bit of grief right now, a bit of bureaucratic process, but we're managing it, and we'll just grind our way through it and hopefully be out of it by mid-May and get back into the joy of actually making scientific decisions with good data and getting drilling organized and the exciting stuff.
Fair enough. I appreciate that. You look around at all the industries being impacted by COVID right now. We're coming through the pandemic. The vaccines are out. There's light at the end of the tunnel. You can't exactly have everybody work from home in an industry like this. And so I'm curious to know how the company's weathered some of the shifts and changes that have happened with what's happening globally right now, and how you see coming out the other side of this.
Yeah, luckily, exploration mining is one of the least impacted, I would say. Unless you're exploring underground, in which case you're in close quarters, and that's there's been some issues with those types of exploration plays. That's not us. We're all about above ground drilling. So the nature of above ground drilling is it's a socially distant sport. You're not there's people are well separated on the platforms managing the stuff. So there's not a problem to have workplace safety in the drilling programs. We initially were I remember we actually had done a drill program in late last quarter in Chile, and it took us a little bit longer on the permitting side because of COVID delays.
Okay.
But that's been sort of sorted out. And I don't know. The pandemic seems to ebb and flow, so one can't really forecast what's going to happen in the future. I suspect it could take longer periods of time to get permits than one would otherwise expect, just because of maybe people not being in the office as much as they would like to be, and maybe the system's not being as smoothly affected. But generally speaking, I would say we're 99% go. It hasn't really, COVID's not a problem for exploration companies on the whole, and certainly not for Chilean.
Great to hear that. Great to hear that. So we're about a month into quarter two at this point, and I'd love to just do a bit of a fast forward with you and imagine that we're into quarter four. What would we be talking about at that point in the year?
So our hope would be, God willing, subject to the drill bit. So our objective would be to do this drilling program in Nisk, and basically add some tonnage to our historical resource, turn it from a historical resource into a new technical report that we'd expect to have out late Q3, early Q4. Okay. So that we would hope we'd be talking to the market about, hey, this thing is looking like a nickel project that's got potential, and it's going to become a mine, and have some of that excitement come across. So that would be our hope on a Nisk, and we would hope we would be talking about possibly a second drill program in the fall. And then would also say that we'd have, if you call it, spun off our babies, the two, the Chilean Metals Limited and Consolidation Gold and Silver, and I would think both of those would have some opportunities. Consolidation Gold and Silver, we're working with Apex. We're going to be doing some. Certainly, we're going to be on the site this spring, summer, doing a bunch of work with the hope that we can get some drilling in late August, September, subject to drilling rig availability. Okay. And that would, we're pretty excited about that spot because, if you look at the strike point, which is a nice junior we like, that's just south of us in the Golden Triangle. Their best intercept is literally on our border, and so we know that this is definitely coming through there. But what's interesting is that what our geophysics suggest is that the porphyries, if there is a porphyry, and let's pray there are, because those are we all have dreams of porphyries, or at least crazy mining guys do anyway. So they look like they're on our property. So we want to stick some straws in there and test that, and that could be exciting. So that's Consolidation Gold and Silver, and then we're doing some we did a round of drilling in Chile in November, December. As with exploration drilling goes, we had some interesting intervals, but never found the prize. And so we've taken that data, going back to work with it, doing some more geophysics on some other areas, and we had such massive land packages there. They're like several thousand hectares apiece. So think of it, 3 area packages the size of the city of Toronto, like mammoth. Yeah. So we really haven't had enough exploration dollars to really go at that professionally. Now the market, I think gold's ripping today. Hopefully it keeps on ripping, and maybe we'll get a gold exploration market, gold copper exploration market, because gold and copper, two of the greatest commodities to be in, and that's all about Chile. So we're excited about what we think can happen down there, and we think within the new slimmed down, we want, for example, I think Chilean today, let's call it, after this offering, 75 million shares outstanding. Yeah. So would probably the spinouts would be like, don't hold me to this, but like giving you an idea, probably like 5-1. So maybe there'll be 15 million shares out or something like that. Right. So it's going to be a tight structure to start, which is how I think you want to start these things. Okay. And then that allows lots of possibility for growth, whether through raising additional capital or through acquisitions. So I think it'll be interesting fall for sure.
Terrific. Well, I know one of the questions I always have is, if somebody had a day inside the company, can you tell me the top, say, 2 or 3 areas within the company you'd point to for the strongest potential of what's happening down the road?
Yeah, I mean, with a junior exploration company, it's all about the science, so you got to have, I guess, science and opportunity, i.e. the land. So we've done sort of our business development work, sort of heavy work last year, tying up what we felt were like the best packages we could get our shareholders into in Golden Ivan and in the Golden Triangle and Nisk in the James Bay. And so now that was done, then it switches over into the science side of saying, okay, well, let's get the best scientists involved to make sure that we, when we explore these things, we do it in an effective manner and in a manner that gives us, in a very risky business, the most chance for success for our shareholders. So, that's one of the reasons why we like both of those projects, because both of those projects have, like in Nisk's case, it had a historical resource. So we have existing drilling data that we can work with. We can model. That's what we're doing now. We're doing 3D modeling to generate the next iteration of our exploration. And then, with the Golden Ivan project in the Golden Triangle, the success of our neighbors, like literally on our borders, gives us, very strong confidence that the minerals are on the project, and we just need to find the best way to sort of test those theories. And so that's what we're doing with very experienced people in that area that have had success executing in those arenas. So that's what a day would look like for us now.
Fantastic. And just looking back, if I can, Terry, with some of your investor relations, what's some of the feedback you've had from those that have become involved in the company and put faith in the company in terms of returns and just that interactivity between company and investor?
Yeah, I mean, all stocks rise and fall, right? That's, nothing goes straight up, and hopefully it doesn't go straight down either. So, I mean, it's been, Chilean Metals has been a difficult file for me personally. I got in it to help a friend out many years ago, and we both agree we'd been far wealthier if I'd hung up on them. Because we put like nothing but friends and family money in for the last number of years, and it's been a struggle because it's not been good markets. It's been tough to really justify investing. But I think we really feel like we felt last summer that the markets were turning, and that was time to sort of gear back up and put our energy, because I could feel like I could make investors money again. I don't, because when you lose people money, they're not happy, and that's understandable, and you take a lot of grief. So we and we know we're in a risky business, and people get that generally when they're investing in mining. They know this is not, we're not buying, Bell Canada, bonds, so there is going to be variability here, and things will go up and go down. But like last fall, we went out and we raised, about $3 million and cleaned up the balance sheet, allowed us to move forward and make these acquisitions, to move forward in Chile. And then obviously the stock, went on a good run, and some people were able to take profits and whatever. And now we're sort of retooling for this next round, and we think we're still super undervalued and for lots of good reasons. And we think we're doing the right things to allow that value to be realized. So, we'll see ultimately the market decides. But generally speaking, we think that, fundamentally, the macro side of things is coming. Right? In our deck, we have a great slide, and it's basically the ratio of VSXV over the S&P. So in the bull markets, that ratio is 2.5, 2.7. Right now it's 0.25. So we're at the very bottom, but it's turned up.
Yeah.
So I and I always say to people, you want to invest when the tide's coming in, because the tide will raise all boats. Good boats and bad boats. Now we hope to be a good boat. We're trying everything we can to be a good boat, but you still want to invest when the tide's coming in. Well, I think the tide's coming in. So, if you've got spare capital and, you look at how frothy the rest of the market is, I think, junior mining is probably the best value proposition on the planet right now. And I'm not saying you pour it all in Chilean Metals. You need to have a basket of these things, because, any one company can be, unsuccessful for a variety of reasons. But if you have a basket in here, I think you're going to be very happy at the end of the day.
Beautiful. That's basic mechanics when it comes to investing. It makes a lot of sense. At this point, Terry, is there anything else that we haven't covered that you want to share about where the company is? It's been a great weather gauge, but I'm curious to know what else might be in there.
No, I think we feel like we're in good shape, and I think we're, I know, some people were, confused, I think, a little bit by our, plan to change the name and then spin off the companies, and it's probably unusual for a smaller company to do this. but we just felt, it's a big bet on what we think are changing economic times for mining. And when those times change, you need to be ready to take advantage of them. So we wanted to be ready. So we know, we think nickel, and the battery metals complex is going to be a very robust place to be. And we thought it raised our floor by doing the Nisk deal. So we did that deal because we thought, we can bring Nisk to the finish line and make our shareholders a lot of money. Now, we still love our other exploration assets, but they're more risky. And the market was not evaluating them as highly as we would have liked. Right. But we think that day is coming, and we're going to put them in the best frame that can be, that our shareholders who are going to get those shares can enjoy it. And so we feel good about what we've done. We don't think the market has quite understood that yet. We think eventually it will, we hope. And we hope to continue to work hard for our shareholders and create value for them throughout the course of the year. Beautiful
energy, Terry. I always appreciate your insight and your vision looking forward. And as always, you've brought some great light to the industry and the sector for those of us that are investing right now. So I appreciate the time.
Well, it's great to be with you. Thanks again for coming by and checking us out.
Absolutely. Talk again.
Cheers.